So, welcome you all to the 15th chapters session, the second part of 15th chapter Purushottama Yoga. We'll be completing that today. So, with our prayer, let us start the session. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitan Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So, starting the day's session with our obeisances to Shri Shri Radha Govinda. So paying our obeisances to Shri Shri Radha Govinda of the ISKCON, the temple at the ISKCON temple at Nantur, Mangalore, and seeking the grace of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada and the blessings of my Shiksha Guru, Shri Nama Ishtadas Prabhuji. I commence the day's session today. That is the latter part of the 15th chapter from shloka number 11th. So we did till 10th yesterday, till last week. We'll be going to the, we'll just revise the 10th one for you to get a link actually. This is the 10th shloka. Who is going to chant the shloka? Any volunteers today? Mataji? Oh yes, Sudha Mataji, please chant. Are you ready?
Mataji, you can unmute yourself.
I'm not, it's not audible somehow. Am I audible? Am I clear?
Yeah, Mataji.
I think your voice is not very clear.
Okay, Mataji. Just making it out.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Sudha Mataji. Yeah.
You want me to? Yeah. उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढा नानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः.
Yeah.
The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this.
All this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This was the example given. That this is a person who does not know anything about the vehicle or knows little about the vehicle. Something has gone wrong with the vehicle. He is unable to spot out the problem. So he's just scratching his head. He's actually worried actually. So the foolish people are these who do not, they're actually driving a vehicle, but they do not know the mechanics of the vehicle. Now, this person is a knowledgeable person. He not only owns a vehicle, but he knows how to repair it when there's a problem. So one has to be knowledgeable. That's very important about. So the word this has been done. This is Jnana Chakshusha. So one is actually a very significant. This is Jnana Chakshusha is a very significant word here. So without knowledge, one cannot understand how a living entity leaves its present body. Now, what is the knowledge we are concerned about here now? It's not about the vehicle. It is about not that vehicle. It's about our vehicle, our body. It's also a vehicle. Okay. Now, if we do not have the knowledge about this vehicle, okay, we will not know how we are going to leave this body, okay, and how we are going to get transmigrated, okay. Now, what form of the body we are going to get next life, we do not know. We have no knowledge. Now, even why we took this particular type of body this lifetime, we do not know because we have no knowledge, okay. Those who have developed spiritual knowledge, however, can see this. They are able to understand everything from the body, why the body is changing and enjoying in different ways. Why is the body changing from birth then to, it grows actually, birth to childhood and then the adolescence and the middle age and the old age and ultimately getting vanquished. Why this is happening, okay? And why are we suffering in this world? Why did we get this body? This body, we have got a human body. Some living entity has got an animal body. Some has got a plant body. Why have they got that body? They do not know. Okay, only one in knowledge can understand how the conditioned living entity is suffering in existence. What is the cause of our suffering? And once we know that, what is the cause of our suffering, we can find the medicine for it. The medicine is nothing but Krishna consciousness, devotional service to the Lord. Okay, so once we know the medicine, you're not just knowing by prescription. You have to be actually, you have to accept it, understand, be convinced of it first of all. See, getting convinced is very important. You can take a person to temple, okay? You can make him bow down mechanically also, but he should be convinced that the deity to whom he is actually paying obeisances is supreme, and he is definitely above all of us. And if he's not convinced, all the act becomes mechanical, no use. Okay, people need this knowledge as their conditioned life is very troublesome. Who else can know better than us? Tell me. Day in and day out, we are having so many challenges in life. Good things also happen, I don't deny that, but there are a lot of challenges. So who can understand better than us? Tell me. So now once you know this, it's troublesome, you become Krishna conscious, and they're able to, once you become Krishna conscious, you're in devotional service, you can liberate yourself, okay, and then get transferred to the spiritual world. That was the last shloka we did actually. In the last class, quick recap was done. So 11th one, we'll chant this chapter, this shloka. Any hand raised? 3 participants have raised their hands.
Yeah, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Meenakshi Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Yatanto yoginashchainam pashyanti atmani avasthitam yatantopi akratatmano nainam pashyanti acetasah The endeavoring transcendentalist who is situated in self-realization can see all this clearly, but those who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah. Now, the endeavoring transcendentalist. So, he's not completely transcendental. He is on the path of becoming transcendental. Okay. He's actually trying to get self-realization. Okay? Now, when he is trying also, he cannot understand. But one who has completely reached the station, he can understand. The transcendentalists on the path of spiritual realization, no, they cannot understand what is self-realization and how things are changing in the body of the living entity. Path is not enough. You have to reach the destination. Yatanto apya akritatmanaha yogihi. That is the person who is actually not perfect. He's endeavoring through all yogic methods, so-called yoga systems, like gymnastics, exercise. Okay. Now that is for bodybuilding. That is not meant for self-realization. Even that is yoga only, but that is not for spiritual self-realization. Okay? They cannot understand the process of transmigration of the soul. They will know how to build their muscles. They will know how to control their breath. They will know how to have a healthy body, but they cannot understand the spiritual aspect of the body. That is a transmigration of the soul. It's a very important topic. See, most people believe that there is no rebirth at all. Once you are dead, everything is finished. We had told you in the last class. But that is not the truth. The truth is, once we die, once our soul leaves the body, the subtle body carries with it the soul. It creates a body for itself. It's already created. It's ready. Body is ready for it to enter. In the soul actually transmigrates. Okay, how does it happen? That such as yogi can't understand. Okay, now only those who are in bhakti yoga realize the self, the world, and the supreme Lord. See? So if you are in devotional service, you will know what is self. What is self means? Your Atma. Okay, what is it? What is the world? Material nature. Okay, and what is the supreme? Okay, they can understand how things are taking place, including transmigration of the soul. They can understand the whole thing. If knowledge is not there, definitely they cannot understand how things are happening. Now, here we see. The result, those not in transcendental knowledge are in ignorance. They're definitely not knowledgeable. Now, what is the cure for this ignorance? That is a question asked. Okay, Krishna says it is knowledge. If you have knowledge, you can get cured of this disease of ignorance. Those who are trained can see all this clearly because their minds are clarified by yoga practice and thus situated in self-realization. Even that needs a training. It's not a joke, not just like bending our body and then controlling the breath. It is something beyond that. It is spiritual. It needs more effort actually. Okay? Now they only can understand what is self-realization. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place. They just can't understand. Okay? They have to be placed at the spiritual platform. That is very important. Okay? Though they may try to, they may do a lot of efforts to understand, but they can't understand. It's not an easy science. Bhakti yogis are the actual yogis. Oh? So the so-called yogis are not yogis. Bhakti yogis are the actual yogis. They have why are they actual yogis? That they have realized the soul. See, what is yoga basically? It is confluence with the supreme. Okay, yoga. You see, yoga. Is it not? Actually, it's a joining the supreme. How can it happen with only gymnastics and all that? It can't happen. So only bhakti yoga can help us to achieve that. They have self. They have realized what is self, what is the world, and the supreme Lord. They can see things as they are. Now, section C, 15.12 to 15.15. Okay? This is Purushottama Yoga, Krishna's position as the maintainer. Next shloka, who will recite? Yada adityagatam tejo. Any hand raised, Meenakshi? You can just start off if you
Hare
are
Krishna.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hare
you
Krishna
can start off.
Mataji, Mahalakshmi Mataji. Mahalakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please chant.
Yad Okay, Mataji. Yad adityagatam tejo jagat bhasayate khilam yat chandramasi yat chagnyau chobidhi mamakam.
Yeah.
The splendor of the sun which dissipates the darkness of this whole world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much. Yeah. So here, the splendor, all splendor would be the splendor of the moon. Okay, the sun. Now the sun shines because what is that actually? It's actually the reflection of the spiritual effulgence, Brahma Jyoti. That's what actually the sun shows us. Okay, and the moon, because of the sun, it gets lit. So the sun, the moon, the fire, and the electricity. All of these are splendors. They're actually glorious brightnesses of each of these entities. Okay, electricity gives us brightness. You can light a lamp with that. Fire gives us brightness. Moon gives us brightness at night. Okay, and sun during the day. We know that. Okay, all these splendors, opulences come from the Lord. Okay, now what is the benefit of such a conception of life as given in this verse? Okay, now what is the use of thinking this way? That when the sun comes from the sun splendor, the moon splendor, the fire splendor, the electricity splendor comes from the Supreme Lord. See, when there is sun, there can be no darkness. So what is the purpose of this, doing all this? It's important to understand that the splendor of the sun, moon, electricity, or fire come from the Lord. This is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. If you understand this, that all that is bright is due to the Lord. It's coming from the Lord. Okay, you can that is just the beginning. You have started understanding what is Krishna awareness, Krishna consciousness. In such a conception, the conditioned soul is considered as advancing in knowledge in the material world. Okay, when you know this aspect, it means that you are on the right track. You are advancing in knowledge. As the entities are essentially parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. See, that you always know. No? What are we? We are all the parts and parcels of the inner superior energy of the Lord. As we are so, now Lord hints here something. What is it? What is he hinting? Lord hints how to go home back to Godhead. He says, what are you? You are my inner, a part, a fragment, a spark of my inner splendor. Okay? Now, so you can come back to me. And how to come back? You will give the knowledge. If you are interested in. If you are not interested in, you will not bother. Okay? He'll give you some more chances, some much more enjoyment in the material life, many more births. Okay? And then, of course, along with the birth, there'll be so many other accompanied problems like, there'll be old age, disease, death ultimately. This is enjoyed. But if you want to go back, he will give us the intelligence. Okay? The sun illuminates the entire solar system that we know. Sun is the cause for the illumination of the entire solar system. Now, there are so many universes. We have seen so many Brahmandas are there. Okay. Now, each one has a different solar system. We were thinking long back is only one. Only we have the sun. We have only one universe. We were Kupamandukas. We were the frogs in the well. We never knew what was there outside our material world. In fact, I've told you earlier too, our material world is only 1/4 of the entire existence. 3/4 is spiritual existence. Tomorrow we are going to do entirely Goloka Vrindavana chart with a presentation. You'll understand there how vast the spiritual world is. The different universes, okay, they have solar systems and each one has different, its own planets, its own suns and all that. All they're separate. Each universe has only one sun. They all have one sun. In Bhagavad Gita 10.21, Nakshatra Nam Aham Shashi. Lord says that in everything he is the best. I told you. In the mountains, he is the Meru. Okay. Among the animals, wild animals, tiger. Okay. All that he keeps on saying. The same way, Nakshatranam. Among the stars, I am Shashi. I am moon. The moon is one of the stars. Sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence, the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. It comes due to effulgence. With the rising of the sun, early morning when the sun rises. Coincidentally, at the same time, the cock also, it actually makes, it says, I mean, that it is early morning. Could be even 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So, once the sun starts rising, activities of human beings start. Of course, not for not the people of the Tamoguna, but the Satoguna people. They get up at 3 o'clock, some of them. Some at least at 4 o'clock they get up, and then they start their activities. Okay. The fire is set to prepare. What are the activities that start? Food is required. Prayers, of course, definitely first. Okay. And that is the food for the soul. That is also food only. So fire is set to prepare their foodstuff, to start factories. Fire helps in many ways. Fire is very, 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 very important. Sunrise, fire, and moonlight are so pleasing. Once the sun rises, you feel so happy. You like to see the rising sun. We also like to see the setting sun. But in between, of course, it is very hot. We can do our activities, but you can't see sun straight into our eyes. It's difficult. Okay? Fire, moonlight is so pleasing. Is it not soothing? They're very pleasing to living entities. Without their help, no living entity can live. So because they are there, and they are there because Lord is there, is it not? So because Lord is there, we are getting all this luxury. Moonshine, what does moonshine do? Nourishes all the vegetables. If there is no moonshine, the growth of vegetables is stunted. It will not be good at all. Okay. Moonshine gives the fruit, the vegetables, the juice, the palatability, the tastiness, the palatability, the juice in the vegetables, fruits, everything is given by the moonshine. Okay. Nourishes all the vegetables. The pleasing moonshine is also a mercy of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Yeah. Now this shloka will take 13th shloka.
Hare Krishna, Ajay Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Gamabhishya cha bhutani dharayami aham ojasha pusnami chaushadhi sarva soma bhutva rasatmakah. I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. So Lord enters every planet. Okay. He's there in every atom that is there. He enters every planet. And because Lord has entered there, they're able to stay in their orbit. Now just imagine if you have a fistful or a handful of soil or stones, whatever, fistful, it could be anything, it could be grain, whatever. As long as it is in your fist, it is secure. It won't fall. The moment you let down, open the fist like this, it will all fall down. Is it not? The same way, the Lord is holding all the planets in his fist. Okay. Now, because he is holding, they are in the orbit. I become the moon and supply the juice to all vegetables. So because, see, the source of moon is Lord. And the source of the juice of the vegetables is the moon. So indirectly, is rasatmakaha, means it becomes palatable, becomes very tasty because of Lord's involvement. Now, Krishna is the maintainer of the material world. Okay. Now, the earth holds, I just give the analogy, the earth, the Lord holds the earth, okay, in the hand, and which the earth gives rise to vegetables. We grow vegetables in the earth only, in the soil, is it not? And then vegetables are nourished by the moonshine, and which also comes from the Lord. So all you spotted anything in this material world or spiritual world, If you go to the origin, it goes to the Lord. So Lord is the maintainer of the entire material world. All the planets are floating in the air only by the energy of the Lord. If the Lord would not have been there, it would have collapsed. Every planet is actually floating. It is stable there. It of course moving. I can't say stable. There will be some small, local movements happening, but then whatever it is, it's because of the Lord. The Lord enters into every atom that we know, planet and living beings as Paramatma. Now, what is Paramatma? Paramatma is a plenary portion of the Lord, one of the partial portion of the Lord. One partial portion is Brahma Jyoti, okay, effulgence. Other partial portion is Paramatma. And the complete portion is the Bhagavan, the Lord himself. This is discussed in Brahma Samhita. So due to his entrance, and because Lord has entered the planets, everything is appropriately manifested. For any event to happen, there should be event manager. If the event manager is there, every event happens absolutely perfectly. It's very perfect. If there's no manager, it becomes goes haywire. When the spirit soul is there, a living man, very good analogy is given here. When the spirit soul is there, the living man, he can float on water. No problem. He can swim. All that he does because the soul is there. The moment he dies, what will happen? What is the meaning of dying? The soul leaves his body. Then the body becomes, it is dead. It sinks, becomes heavy. Water gets in, it sinks. But definitely after some time, it decomposes and again starts floating. That is there. But then immediately what happens? It sinks. Of course, on decomposing, it floats. But as soon as a man is dead, it at once sinks. The first action is sinking. That's why we can't save. See, the people were able to float. They wouldn't have died at all. Is it not? Because when the soul, let us suppose a person is swimming in the water, God forbid. I mean, swimming is okay. But as he's swimming, the soul leaves the body. The first thing is he drowns. That is a problem. If he wouldn't have drowned, it could have been saved. It's not. So first action is sinking. Then later, after what time we cannot definitely say, the body decomposes and then again floats on top. Then it is actually captured and given to people. Similarly, all planets float in space due to the entrance of the supreme energy of the Lord. His energy is sustaining each planet. Because he is there, the planets are sustained. Just like a handful or fistful of dust or soil. If someone holds, this is energy I've given you. I think there is no need to go into detail. We'll leave off the soil, it will fall down. So all of these are actually, the floating planets are actually held in the fist of the universal form of the Supreme Lord. His strength and energy, Lord's strength and energy, what do they make? They make all moving and non-moving things stay in their position. Okay, they all, for every the rock to be in its place, the mountain to be in its place, the river to be flowing, that is in the inanimate so-called, the tree to be as it is, every animal to be as it is because of the strength and energy of the Lord. It is due to the supreme personality of Godhead that the moon nourishes all vegetables, making them delicious. They become very tasty, juicy. Without moonshine, vegetables can neither grow nor taste succulent. They'll be not at all healthy. The very survival of human society, entire human society. Why human society? In animal communities, is due to the abundant mercy of the Lord. The Lord is taking care of every living entity on this earth. That is why we are at his mercy. So we have to realize that. This is knowledge. This is actually Purushottama Yoga. This is knowledge. Rasatmakaha means everything becomes palatable by the influence of the moonshine. Yeah. Now, this shloka, who will say very nice shloka.
Hare Krishna,
All are
Sudha
very
Mataji.
nice.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, please, chant Mataji.
Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachami Annam Chaturvidham.
Pachamanyam Chaturvidham. Yeah, yes, Mataji.
Chaturvidham. I am the fire of digestion in every living body, and I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest the 4 kinds of food stuff. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much. I am the fire of digestion. He says here, we say what is called in Ayurveda, Jatharagni. Jathara is stomach. And what is hunger? Hunger is nothing but the fire in the stomach. It makes us feel hungry. So he says, I am the fire in every living body. In fact, not only for hunger, for feeding, for everything we need fire. Fire means igniting substance. So to make us very dynamic, okay? You should be always dynamic, not lethargic. So for that, the fire should be there. That is Lord, okay? And I am the fire, air of the life. So incoming air, outgoing, inhaling air, outgoing air, he is there, okay? By which, and he can digest all the types of foodstuffs. What they are, we'll see. Different types of foodstuffs they have mentioned actually. So this is what he says. According to Ayurveda, there is a fire in the stomach that digests all the food, Jataragni. And the fire is improper. Now, see, this is so important. Those who feel hungry at proper times and they are able to feed well properly, okay, not overeating, okay, as much as they want and get energy out of it. That's very important. Some people keep on eating, but they feel, I'm so tired. I don't feel energetic at all. Something is wrong with the metabolism. Okay, they feel hungry. They eat also. Not that they don't eat, but the output of energy is not there. So that means the fire is not properly being actually channelized. So when the fire is not proper, it is improper. It has to be treated. You have to take some medical treatment for it, or do some pranayama, do some asanas and all that, and see that your inner fire is actually healthy. It's helping you to live life. This fire is representative of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so this fire is Lord. Okay, the Vedic mantras in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is 11th Upanishad, also confirm that Supreme Brahman is situated. That is, what is Supreme Brahman? Bhagavan, situated in the form of fire within the stomach, digesting all kinds of foodstuffs. Ayam Agnir Vishwanaru Yo Ayam Anta Purushe Yenedam Annam Pachate. Is present as fire in all the stomachs. Since the eating process is controlled by the Lord, see, eating also is controlled by the Lord. Whatever we eat, it is get digested. Okay, if you are not well, when you have fever, you can't taste food. It's absolutely, your tongue is so very tasteless. You can't eat anything. So even that is controlled by the Lord. So even we are not independent there. God is controlling that. So enjoying different foods is also a grace of the Lord. So eat different types of foods, to eat that, digest all types of foods is also the grace of God. But there are 4 types of foodstuffs. You can just imagine what you eat over the day. Some we drink, water we drink, beverages we drink, okay, juices we drink. Some are chewed, you chew some things, okay. Now some are sucked, okay, like a fruit, like mango and all that you eat and also suck, okay. And and actually some are actually licked. Some they lick and for instance, not we, but the cats and even the bees, they lick. Some of the insects lick actually, and all those are basically, they're also living and they're animals only. So all those 4 actions are controlled by the Lord, and He's a digestive force for all of them. Okay, now this is the 4 kinds of what the foodstuffs. They are to digest. We need Krishna's energy as fire and life airs incoming and outgoing. Okay, the 4 kinds of foodstuffs are swallowed. Some you can swallow. Some are chewed. Some are licked, and some are sucked. Okay. Now this one we'll read. Very, very, very important shloka.
Hare Krishna, Meenakshi Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मतः स्मृतिज्ञानम् अपहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविद एव चाहम्.
Very
I
important
am
shloka.
seated
This
in
is, yeah.
everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas am I to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Hare Krishna,
Vedas.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. The Lord is not only all pervading, He is present everywhere, every atom, everywhere He is there. He is also localized in every individual heart as Paramatma. We know that. Okay. All activities are initiated by Him. Because He is there, our activities are going on. The moment He decides to leave our body, we can do no action, we collapse. Nothing can happen after that. The living entity forgets everything of his past life. On the battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna tells Krishna, when Krishna tells Arjuna that Gita was first spoken by him to Lord Sun God, Yosvan, 12 crores of years ago, long back. Then Arjuna asks him, how is it possible, Krishna? So I and you are almost contemporaries. Okay. Now, how can say I do not know? I have not seen. I mean that past such a long time span. So back I don't even know that we existed. How is it possible? You can tell me also now, and you told Sun God also then. How is it possible? Krishna tells him, Arjuna, I and you have always been there. There is no point of time when I was not there. But there is no point of time you were not there. You were also there. I was also there. We also here now in this session, we have been there for several lifetimes. This lifetime, we are meeting here. Of course, online, not offline. Okay. But then we do not know of our past life, in what capacity we met each other. Were we brothers, sisters, whatever, we don't remember. We don't remember. So Krishna tells him, Arjuna, you don't remember, but I remember. So I was there even then. I've actually spoken this to Sun God. The living entity forgets everything of his past life. It's a good thing, very good thing. Blessing, that is a grace of God. Supposing we were to remember all our past life births, it would have been so miserable. Because you will know all good and bad. You feel so regretful, you feel so unhappy, so uncomfortable. So what is the use of remembering? So because it's of no use, he removed the memory from our brains. No use. What is not in use is just to be removed. But for him, it is very important because based on our last birth's karma, he has to give us this time's activities. So whatever we get this lifetime is what we desired in the last lifetime. And that Krishna should know. So Krishna should remember everything. We should forget everything. Okay. Supposing we also remember, and we are very good friends in this lifetime, we were great enemies in the last lifetime, then we will definitely, what a mixture of feelings will happen. It's chaotic. Very good we forget. Okay. He has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Who is the witness to all his works. So what we forget everything of the last life. So what are we doing now in this lifetime? As we do everything as per Lord's direction, we have no intervention there. Therefore, he begins his work according to his past deeds. Okay, Lord Krishna graces him with the required knowledge and memory. He gives the knowledge, intelligence, and memory as much as wanted. That's all, not more than that. Okay, as he does anything, as he does not know anything of his past life. As much required, he will give us. He is worshipable as the impersonal Brahman. Who? The Lord. Impersonal Brahman. Okay, it is Brahmajyoti, the supreme personality of Godhead. That is Bhagavan. Localized Paramatma. That is the Kshirodaktai Vishnu. That is in the heart. And also as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. So Vedas were spoken by Krishna only, is it not? So it's actually, Vedas are incarnate. They're again Lord incarnate. And even Veda Vyasa, who wrote there are so many scriptures, including Bhagavatam and all that, he's also Lord incarnate. Chaitanya our Mahaprabhu is also Lord incarnate. The Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold themselves and go back to Godhead. All the Vedas give the information just for us to not enjoy in the material world, not just do whatever we want, money, lord over the things. He wants us to go back. All the knowledge, if we properly use the knowledge in the Vedas, we are sure to get back to home, back to God. That is our home. It's only temporary home. However big, beautiful mansion you build for yourself, spending 1 crore of rupees or crores of rupees, okay? This is temporary. You have to go to that place, which is permanent. The Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. What is the purpose of the Vedas? Vedas are meant to understand Krishna. Okay? Krishna, in his incarnation as Vyasadeva or Veda Vyasa, both mean the same thing, is a compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra, end of the Veda, everything but Vedas, that was actually given by Veda Vyasa. Anta Pravishta Shashta Jananam, the living entity forgets as soon as he quits his body. But he begins his work again, initiated by the Supreme Lord. So once we quit our body, everything we forget. No, just like wiping off the slate, delete button pressed, everything is forgotten. But all memory, the material memory is forgotten. But then we have what is called a CD in us. It is a soul. It records all what we did in this lifetime. That is carried forward. For instance, I told you earlier too, if we perform devotional service up to say 30% in this lifetime, that is not forgotten. It is read the disk. Material body is forgotten. I have forgotten what I have done the last birth. But then next lifetime, I will start from where I have stopped. So 31 onwards, my punya starts getting, my good deeds starts getting accumulated. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him the intelligence to renew his work. Completely he will not. He will give enough, just what is required, he'll give you. From where he ended in his last life, and suffer or enjoy in this world. Okay, and depending upon what you have asked for, what your desire was, you get that body, you get that lifetime. Okay, now once you get that body, now whatever happiness, whatever enjoyment is associated with that body, will enjoy, and whatever suffering is due, you will suffer. Okay, he also. But one more thing, the mercy of the Lord, you have to really be very grateful to him. Though it is suffering, we think it is a suffering, they don't feel it is a suffering. See, animals, they're wandering on the streets. They have no home. Many of them have no proper homes. They go and sleep along the footpaths. It is for a miserable. Can we go and sleep on the footpaths like that? No. It's miserable for us. But for them, they don't realize it. Again, that is due to Lord's Maya, Mahamaya. Okay. So that he does. But then whatever is there, you have to undergo that. He also gets the opportunity to understand the Vedas. To understand the Vedas is not a joke. You have to have enough intelligence. You need a bona fide spiritual master also. Not only intelligence, it should be not perverted, should be properly channelized and guided. And for this guidance, we all require a bona fide spiritual master who is nothing but a representation of the Lord himself. Okay, so he gets to know the Vedas. From him, if he's serious, he should be serious about it. You should decide. No, I don't want all that. I want to, what is there in Vedas? I want to enjoy in the life. Okay, fine, he says, don't worry. You can do it later. But he'll again pull you, not leave you there. First, he'll give you all the entertainment in the material world. You'll be fed up of it. You'll be so tired of it. You want to quit that enjoyment. Slowly, he'll pull him. He's very intelligent. He's himself so intelligent. He'll slowly pull you towards him. The knowledge of the Vedas is given to the living entity to understand Krishna. Yo asau sarvair vedair giyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from the Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishad Puranas, the glories of the Supreme Lord are celebrated. Okay, the Lord is attainable by performance of Vedic rituals. You can do Vedic sacrifices, all that you can do. Okay, in discussing Vedic philosophy, That also is very important. Worship of the Lord in devotional service. So 3 methods you can attain Lord's grace. What are they? Performance of Vedic rituals. Okay, all the sacrifices. Okay, rituals, karma kanda. Discussing the Vedic philosophy, reading, understanding, speculative knowledge, and worship of the Lord in devotional. This is the highest of all. You have to see, we no need to, in fact, without even knowledge, if you go on just worshipping the Lord, unconditionally, Lord is so pleased, he'll actually give you all what you need. Vedanta Sutra confirms this in the following verse, Tattu Samanvayat. One can attain perfection in 3 stages. What are they? The purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. Okay, first thing. Understanding Vedic literature, philosophy, through that, one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Lord. What are we? We are the internal parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. If you know this, you are 100% marks for you. You are almost on the path towards advancement, spiritual knowledge, become on the transcendental path. Performing the different processes, one can approach him. That is the rituals of Vedic, inscriptions. You can just do that, when that will take you towards Lord. Through devotional service, one can attain the supreme goal, the Supreme Lord. Okay. Who will read this sloka? 16.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Please.
Mahalakshmi Mataji. Mahalakshmi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Please, Mataji, read. Stand.
Tvavimau purusau loke shara eva cha sharaha sarvani bhutani kutasto kshara uchyate. There are 2 classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every entity is called infallible. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Now, there are 2 types of living beings, fallible and infallible. The fallible means the propensity to commit a mistake. Okay. We are all fallibles. We commit mistakes. Okay. Infallible, Lord, he commits no mistakes. Okay. Basically, there are 2 types of people. Okay. Now we see here. Now, Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sannivishto, that particular shloka, this one. This is a flow chart. Okay. That is, what does it mean? In every you can see Paramatma is here. In every animal, this yogi, in all of these animals, the tree, you see Paramatma is present as Paramatma. Okay. In a portion as Paramatma. Then, Matta Smritir Jnanam Aponam Cha. He gives actually Smritir, that is memory, remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness are given by Lord. Smritir, remembrance, Jnanam, knowledge, Apohanam Cha, forgetfulness, are all given by the Lord. Okay. A Veda cha survived, Ahameva Veda, survived, yeah. This is actually the Vedanta, the Vedas are the ultimate source of knowledge for Krishna. Vedanta, Vedavid, Eva Jnanam. It's actually all about the Vedas give us the knowledge about Krishna. 16 to 20, Purushottama Yoga, there are 3 shloka Bhagavad Gita summarizing the Vedas and the Vedanta kinds of living entities. According to Vedanta Sutra, compiled by the Lord's incarnation as Veda Vyasadeva, what does it say? The innumerable living entities. The living entities are innumerable, infinite. There are so many. Can be divided into 2, fallible, infallible. Okay. Obviously, in that there are some with higher consciousness, some with lower consciousness, and some with where no consciousness at all. Okay. Based upon the level of consciousness, the fallibility, infallibility also is based. So more the consciousness, we are more bound to commit mistakes. See, a tree has the least consciousness. It commits no mistakes. What can a tree do? Nothing. But we have the most highest consciousness, lot of intelligence. We are prone to committing lot of mistakes. Living entities are eternally separated parts and parcels of the Lord. When they come in contact with material world, they are called as Jiva Bhuta. I always keep on telling you, everyone tells, we have become contaminated due to exposure to the material world. You become Jiva Bhutas. When you come into contact with the material world, become Jiva Bhutas. Kshara Sarvani Bhutani mean that they are fallible. They are bound to commit mistakes. Those in oneness with the Supreme Lord are called, actually, they are infallibles. Oneness does not mean that they have no individuality. See, oneness, we say become one with the Lord. See, oneness means, it does not mean merging with the Lord, becoming one with the Lord. It's not that, okay? We still have an identity of our own, but we are actually following his dictums. They all agree that the Supreme Lord, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra, is the source of all emanations. So all the scriptures, they definitely confirmly believe that we have emanated from the Lord. The conditioned living entities who are struggling in this world, we people, okay, with their mind and material, have their material bodies which are changing, okay, and they do not know that their bodies are changing, but they are actually undergoing the change. Just can't see this part. Yeah. Sarvani Bhutani. Kshara Sarvani Bhutani, any living entity who has come in contact with matter, that is material nature, beginning from the first created being Brahma. When Brahma actually is fallible, he ages. We can see Brahma in old, or we can see old Brahma, okay? But we never see old Krishna. Krishna can never become old at all, okay? Yeah, I think this we skipped one. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we skipped this. The conditioned living entities who are struggling in this world with the mind and 5 senses have their material bodies which are changing. Their bodies, which in this life we are in this body, then we transmigrate to another body, then we enjoy or suffer in the other body, from then other body, again enjoy or suffer in the other body. We keep on hopping from body to body. We means what? Our soul keeps on hopping. In the spiritual world, the body is not made of matter. You know that the Lord's soul and body are the same. It's not like us, my gross body and then subtle soul, nothing like that. Lord Krishna's body and soul are the same. Therefore, there is no change at all. In the material world, the living entity undergoes 6 changes. What are they? We all know. Birth, growth, duration, reproduction, dwindling, and then vanishing. Okay, we have it, but Lord doesn't have it. Lord always looks young. He was actually the baby with the Bal Gopal, and he becomes a 7-year-old Govardhan Giri carrying Krishna, and then becomes adolescent, 16-year-old Krishna. That's all. He doesn't grow a little bit. I think he grows towards during Kurukshetra war, a little bit older, maybe 24, 25 years old boy. Nothing youth, nothing. He never grows old at all. In the spiritual world, the body does not change. No old age, no birth, no death. Everything stable. They all exist in oneness. Kshara Sarvani Bhutani, any living entity who has come in contact with matter, we people, beginning from the first created being Brahma, down to a small ant, they are changing their bodies. Therefore, they are all fallible. So all, now tomorrow we're going to do Goloka Vrindana chart, you'll be understanding. We think Brahma is so great. I mean, they're all great only. Brahma, Indra, all of them. But they remember, all are in the material world, like us only. They're not in the spiritual world. So they are actually going to become old, and all that's going to happen with them. Tomorrow you're going to a very interesting class. Please attend. Very, very important, interesting class. It's a presentation tomorrow, okay? I'll try to explain every minute detail to the extent possible. You'll enjoy it, actually. In the spiritual world, however, they are always liberated in oneness. There's nothing new. Please read this sloka. Next one. This we're coming to the end of the chapter.
Hare Krishna, Ajay Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Uttamaha Purushastanyah Paramatma Atyudahritah Jolaka Trayang Avishya Vibhartya Abhyaya Ishwarah. Besides these two, there are the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the 3 worlds and is maintaining them.
Yes. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. Yeah. So beyond this, beyond the fallible, infallible, there is a Supreme Lord. Okay. Now, according to the Katha Upanishad and Shvetashvatara Upanishad and the Upanishadic verse, there are so many verses here and as follows: Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. This means amongst all the living entities, both conditioned and liberated, okay, there is one supreme living personality. He is supreme, infallible, the supreme personality of Godhead as Paramatma. What does he do? What is his job? He maintains them and gives them all the facility of enjoyment according to different work. Whatever we have, in the past done. So whatever all is given based on that. Okay. That supreme, if you were very bad in the lab last time, you have to suffer. There's no option. You have to. We'll be wondering, oh, why am I suffering this lifetime? What did I do so bad last time? We don't know. We don't remember. He knows. He has given it. So, but you have to take a lesson out of it. Don't curse him. Don't never blame God. It is not God's mistake. It is your fault. You have created that mess for yourself, of the last time. Clear it this lifetime. Get liberated. Reach home, back God to Godhead. That supreme personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart. That is known as Paramatma. Every shloka stresses this. It's not a repetition. It's a very reinforcing the point. A wise man who can understand him, he should be able to understand Krishna through knowing Vedas. He is eligible to attain perfect peace. Only we can, on those who have no knowledge about Krishna, can be peaceful, not the others. They'll be all struggling. They'll be miserable actually. This is this is actually known to you. I think we skip this. Yeah. The fallible and the infallible ones. Just a flow chart. I think we can skip this. We have done it. Yeah. This shloka, who will take this?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please take.
Yasmat Ksharam Atito Aham Aksharat Api Chotamaha Ato Asmi Loke Vedecha Pratitah Purushotamaha. Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. See, he is beyond all that. See, he's even beyond infallible. Just to know, he transcends the mode of goodness too. Okay. See, infallible ones, even human beings can be, when they're not committing mistakes, can be infallible. But he is beyond all that. Okay. So that is that he's a supreme person. Now here we see. Although the living entities and the Supreme Lord are both individuals, okay, the living entities, either in the conditioned state or the liberated state, cannot surpass in quantity his inconceivable potencies. What does it mean? See, in quality, we are same as Krishna. See, although the living entities and Supreme Lord are both individuals, okay, they're living entities in the conditioned or liberated stage. What is common in them? The same in them, rather, qualitatively, that we are the internal energies of the Lord. That is same. Qualitatively, we are the same. But quantitatively, he is much more opulent. We are Anu, he is Vibhu. Okay. It's incorrect to think. People sometimes think, oh, we are same as the Lord. Then we are same. It's not so. It is incorrect to think of the Supreme Lord and the living entities as being on the same level. We are not equals. We can't be equals or equal in all respects. In quantity, we are definitely very small. He is very actually infinite, very huge. There is always a question of superiority and inferiority between their personalities, whatever it is. Tomorrow, when you go to Goloka Vrindavana also, you are not going to merge with the Lord. You are going to be there as his eternal servitor. You will be serving the Lord there. He is superior, you are inferior. He is therefore the greatest of all the personalities. The Vedas, Chandogya Upanishad states, the super soul coming out of the body, okay, after we die, enters the impersonal Brahma Jyotir. It enters there, okay. But even there, though it has no form, Brahma Jyotir has no form, it will not lose its identity. It will be definitely separate. Each one of us will be separate entities. The Lord in his form, he remains in spiritual identity. Lord always has a spiritual identity. We don't have that, okay? Because that supreme is called a supreme personality. He is a Lord, God. Exhibiting and diffusing. Brahmajyoti is diffusing, exhibiting and diffusing his spiritual effulgence, brightness, which is the ultimate illumination. So all what we see today in the material world, all that glamours, okay? The glamoring sun, the glamoring, whatever is glamorous in the material world is nothing but Lord's energy, Lord's effulgence. You know, we have studied already in the beginning of this chapter that the material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. The self-same Supreme Lord also has a localized aspect as Paramatma. By incarnating himself as the son of Satyavati and Parashara, who is that? Who is Satyavati? It's hidden unfortunately here. Who is the incarnation of Lord's incarnation as son of Satyavati and Parashara? Can anyone tell me? Yes, Sai Kiran, Prabhuji.
Mataji, incarnation of son of Satyavati and Parashara is only Maharaj Vyasa.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Vedavyasa. You see, it was hidden. So the answer was not there on the screen. So it is actually Vedavyasa. Yeah. So now these three shlokas, 6, 7, and 8, there are two kinds of living entities. I think this is done. We can skip also. Okay. Fallible, infallible. In Supreme Lord is a master of both of them. Okay. Is a Lord of the three worlds. He maintains them. Okay. In 8, I am the Supreme Lord, celebrated both in the world, in the Vedas as the Supreme Person. That is it. This has been told you. We'll skip this, no problem. Can we skip? Yeah. So he's a Supreme. All the demigods also, when you see Shiva is here, okay? All the lords, demigods, they're actually worshipping, they're looking towards Lord as the Supreme. He's nothing beyond him. He's actually almighty, all powerful, all everything, all opulences in him. Here too, the Brahma also accepts it, Shiva also accepts it. In fact, we have seen in the 14th chapter, Shiva also says that you have to surrender to Krishna to transcend the modes of nature, not me or not even Brahma. Because Shiva also is actually in the mode of ignorance, but again, there's a difference. I'll tell you tomorrow. So Shiva, as Rudra, is in mode of ignorance, but there are other forms, which are not necessarily in the mode of ignorance. We'll be doing that tomorrow. So please read this shloka.
Hare Krishna, Mahalakshmi Mataji.
Just one more shloka to go today.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yo mam evam asammodo janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is to be understood as the knower of everything, and he therefore engages himself in full devotional service, O son of Bharata.
Yes. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much. Whoever knows me as a Supreme Lord without doubting, you shouldn't doubt, okay? Is to be understood as a knower of everything. If you know that, that means you are on the way of advancement into spiritual knowledge. And he therefore engages himself in full devotional service. So this is what I said, by actually getting convinced. Don't do things mechanically, okay? Through either reading or learning through devotees or learning from a bona fide spiritual master, to get convinced that Lord is the Supreme. And once you're convinced, automatically devotional service will spring from you, not come out, it'll spring from you. You all the time, 24 hours a day, except the time when you're sleeping. Even in sleep, you think of Lord only. You have to experience this. I'm not telling you, it's not, it's experience. No, you will never think of anyone else other than Lord. That state we have to all reach. It's very, very important. Lord clearly explains, one who truly knows him is the actual knower of everything. Such a person or a devotee, he doesn't waste time, he doesn't at all waste time in speculating. He straight away engages himself directly into Krishna conscious activities. Okay, all buying fruits for Krishna, shopping for Krishna, then doing Abhisheka, cleaning the temple, and then all decorating Krishna, making prasadam for Krishna, all services toward Krishna only. Should receive the Vedic knowledge called Shruti directly from Krishna. Okay, he must not only engage all his time in Krishna consciousness, but whenever there is time, even we too, Krishna can't come down to our houses to preach Vedas. What we should do is, when we are not doing devotional service, you should pick a book, and please keep all these books handy, in a cupboard which is very high, you can reach immediately. Don't keep them closed in a cupboard which is opaque, made of wood and all that. You can't see the books, but you have to open every day and see the books. That will be something. Otherwise, they should be visible every day to your eyes. Visibility. You should just be able to pluck the book and start reading. Okay? Should receive the Vedic knowledge called Shruti directly from Krishna, his representative. Should submissively accept that living entities are always subordinate to the Lord. Very, 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 very important. This is the knowledge. We are all very, very inferior, not in that sense, not in the, I mean to say quality. They're definitely very small compared to the Lord. Lord is Vibhu Vyaranu, and then keep on submissively serving the Lord. Okay, such a person is supposed to be truly knowing the purpose of the Vedas. If you are convinced, not only just knowing it by heart or by reading and all that, just theoretical knowledge. If you accept this, that means you know what is the purpose of Vedas? To understand Krishna. One should not simply speculate academically, just go on reading books, make notes after notes, books after books. What has gone into your head, into your Anushtana? What is Anushtana? Anushtana is practice. Whatever you preach, you have to practice. What is happening? Nothing. All in the books. That is no use. According to the Vaishnava Parampara, one engaged in the devotional service of Krishna need not adopt any other spiritual process for understanding the supreme absolute truth. Nothing beyond devotional service. Automatically, it will give you all the other knowledge. It comes. Our focus, our target, our goal, our aim of life is nothing but devotional service to Krishna. Even if I'm born next lifetime, I will be born definitely. Okay. First thing I pray God is to give me a birth, not in a rich family that way. It doesn't matter any family, but a family of devotees. Okay. Who can help me or who can nurture my devotion for Krishna. If I get such a family, I'll be very, very, very thankful to Almighty. Okay. And I want to keep on as early as possible. This lifetime became a little late, So we were into spirituality in the beginning, but service, education, but with education also, with your studies also, I should pray Krishna. And from the moment I start uttering the first syllables, words, like Amma, Appa and all that, I should say Krishna, should be able to say Krishna. And then on, should continue till my end of the breath. Along with that, I must study, I must get a lot of knowledge and serve the society also, all human society, or everyone, not only animals, all of them, all living entities, everyone, be a fond person of all in the world. That is my prayer to the Lord. Okay, his preliminary process of understanding ends, obviously. Yeah, that is ended. Then only the practice starts. Okay. Now this last sloka who will take? Mataji and Prabhuji. Yeah.
Meenakshi Mataji is there.
Yeah. Meenakshi Mataji, please take. Yeah.
Iti guhyatmam sastram idam uttam maya nagha etat buddha buddhiman syat kritakrityascha bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much. Yeah. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures. Okay. All can't understand this. Please understand that. Only sinless person can actually understand this. Okay. Iti guhyatamam shastram idam suktam mayanagha etat buddha buddhiman syat krityascha bharata. So here Bharata means Arjuna. He says, why did Arjuna understand this? Because he was sinless. Okay. So here only sinless people can understand this knowledge. Okay. The most confident here. I think this has been read actually. Yeah. Yes. Most confidential part of Vedic scripture, this has been told to you. Devotional service is a process of spiritual understanding. So what is devotional service? When you do it, automatically, you're going to understand, you're going to go deeper into spirituality. Okay? Frees one from all contaminations of the modes of material nature. All the three modes where we above that. Makes one intelligent and perfect in transcendental knowledge. Devotional service and material contamination cannot coexist. See, viewing TV and doing japa or doing something devotional or doing puja cannot happen at the same time. They won't be successful. So either this or that. So devotional service and material contamination can never exist together. They can't occupy the same place, okay, at the same time. Lord is said to be the sun. He is the sun. He removes darkness from our lives. Okay, ignorance, the darkness of ignorance is actually is removed. Where the sun is present, there is no question of darkness at all. When there's devotional service, there's no question of material contamination. In the presence of devotional service, under the proper of a bona fide spiritual master, there can be no ignorance. Okay. The word anagha, very important. Anagha means sinless one. Okay. Arjuna is sinless. The word anagha, by which Arjuna is addressed, is very, very significant. Means sinless one. Unless one is free from all sinful reactions, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. You can't understand Krishna. All can't sit in a pravachan like this. They feel like getting up and going. Devotional service is so very pure and powerful, pure and powerful, potent. It automatically makes one sinless. All the sins will vanish. While performing devotional service, one must shred the weaknesses of the heart. There are some weaknesses in our heart. We don't know that. Lording over things. When you lord over things, our attachment to material things becomes more and more. So these things should be shred, should be shunned. The first, they're called fall downs. Okay. The first fall down in devotional service is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. I, me, I am this. It's all because of me. I have done all this. Without me, nothing could have happened. This is lording over material nature. Foolish. That prevents from performing transcendental, loving service of the Supreme Lord. If in an office, you go on saying you are the boss of the office, when you are not the boss actually, okay? How can things progress properly? There is a boss who is controlling, managing. You have to, then what happens is your respect towards the boss will become less. It becomes actually it becomes very artificial. It won't work. It won't work. You'll be sent out one day. The second fall down is attachment to matter due to the propensity to lord over material nature. So as a side effect of this lording over nature, what happens? We become attached to material things. Material attachment becomes more. And once you're attached to matter, you are attached from Krishna. If you have to get attached to Krishna, you must detach from matter. Two things can't happen at the same time. And the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing from the weaknesses of the heart. Okay, first. From 6th verse onwards, it is Purushottama Yoga. Okay, it's last part, you know. This is actually summary of Purushottama Yoga. Knowledge explained in this chapter is the essence of Vedanta and the most confidential substance of the Vedas. What is the result of understanding? One will become wise and his endeavor will know perfection. Okay, so what is the qualification to understand Purushottama Yoga? Sinlessness. Okay, that's very important. This is a brief summary. I just explained that with that our chapter gets over. So with my small prayer, ending prayer, I'll open the session for discussion. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Sant Gote Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna, all of you. We'll stop recording and then we can take the questions.